The strategy I'm covering today is the Vocabulary Overview Guide, which is from our Buell textbook. And what I chose to use for this Vocabulary Overview Guide is the American Journey textbook that you provided on Canvas, which is for 8th grade American history. So for a description of the strategy, it is a graphic organizer, and it's very adaptable because you can use however many vocab words that you need to for a particular text. And I also like that it's a very simple layout. There should be no questions from, well, you would hope, no questions from students. It's very simple. It's a 5-step process, but on the sheet, students only have to write 4 things. They have to write the vocabulary term, a meaningful clue, an explanation, and an example pertaining to whatever topic they're talking about for that day. And vocabulary overview guides should be used for Tier 2 and Tier 3 words, so words that are specific in our content area, or even just words that might be challenging for students that you may not hear in everyday vocabulary. So, how I became familiar with the strategy, like I said earlier, was from the Buell book. And I like this strategy because students read the section, then have to go back and reread it again. So it allows them to read it twice. So they read to look for the vocabulary word, and they go back and read it again, which is really nice when you are doing a close reading activity. And so let's look at the steps. So there's 5 steps, like I said earlier. The teacher identifies keywords from the text. So as I imagine, I would hand this out and give students the 5 or the 6 words that we would need for that subject or that subtopic. And then the students code the words so they know it, or they have a hunch that they know what it means, they've seen it, or they've never seen it. And then after they code the words, they go back and reread the text, which, like I said, is why I enjoy it. And then they explain the terms and then use it in a sentence. And so the ongoing steps that us teachers and students use would be to embed the words in lectures and activities. So constantly using these words when you're discussing chapters, using them on the chapter test, in close reading guides and such, because they are words that students are going to see again. And how I would integrate this strategy into a lesson is I would use it in a section that includes a lot of vocab and create the whole lesson plan for the day as a reading and vocabulary strategy lesson plan. I think that would be the most beneficial, and use this as like a processing activity. Okay, so let's look at the little example. So like I said, I used this from the American Journey. And so this is the section that I used talking about nomads and migration and the early Americans, because it's 8th grade history. So I chose the 2 vocab words, which I wouldn't necessarily choose all the vocab words, but I thought these were appropriate. I chose migrate and nomad, which are very similar, but students might become confused if they don't understand the words completely. So for a clue, I put transfer for migrate, and explain moving to a new place, hence immigrant, immigration, and then the use, the family chose to migrate south to America. So that would be in our text. Nomad, wanderer, a place or a person that moves from place to place, and the early Americans were nomads. So this is a very simple example. I would probably pull more than just 2 words. It would probably be 6. And I think this will help students read the text because it has them go back and reread it and allows them to take a closer look at the text and what it means. So they read that sentence over again. And I would assess the how the vocab strategy worked by using it as a closure activity. And I would break them off into pairs or groups of 4, and I'd have them roll a dice, and whatever number they get, they would define or use the word that is associated with that number on the dice. So that way they would write it down and turn it in as an exit slip. So very simple activity, but again, just having them use those words in sentences just one more time to, reiterate the importance of the words that we discussed today. So that is all I have for you. Please let me know your thoughts, and I really liked using the screencast. I've always wondered how professors did it, so this was really exciting for me. Thank you.